I do hope you have enjoyed your coffee break. If there are any of you outside, please join us in the conference room. We are about to start our next panel. And today there has been a lot of talk about AI, shaping the future technologies. However, now we would like to switch back to the human side. And actually, there is a lot of need of well-qualified people to come into cybersecurity and make sure that our future is a safe one, our digital future is a safe one. And this is exactly what the next panel is addressing, especially the cybersecurity skills and workforce gap, building the workforce of tomorrow. The panel will address the growing shortage of skilled cybersecurity experts, exploring innovative solutions to close the workforce gap and ensure a robust talent pipeline for the future of digital security. And I would like to welcome onto the stage the guests of this next panel, Mr. Adrian BREZULIANU, CEO GreenSoft, Mr. Bogdan IRIMIA, Team Manager and Penetration Testing Technical Lead, Eviden Romania. Please, that's perfect. Take a seat. Thank you very much. Ms. Andreea, COCHECI, Head of Sales at Axigen, Romania. Welcome. Mr. Ionuț, ISAC, Director for Cybersecurity and Emerging Technologies, EI. Constantin, BURDUN, Deputy CEO, CertSignr, Romania. And of course, our moderator for the panel, Hristian, DASKALOV, Coordinator, Digital Innovation Hub, Trakia, Bulgaria. Thank you all very much and have a successful panel.
Thank you very much for the kind introduction. Of course, we will extend this introduction right now in the beginning. My name is Hristian DASKALOV. A few weeks ago, I had the honor to speak at the Euro-Atlantic Resilience Forum, and I suppose the organizers are around here. I spoke too much at the panel, and I was demoted to moderator only. So I will try to limit myself. There are many ideas that will be shared on the stage, many ideas that will be shared from the audience. So without further ado, I will give the opportunity for all of our esteemed panelists to share a few words in order to set the expectations for you. And of course, you can also share what are your expectations from the panel, maybe some kind of opening statements, so we can try to further navigate the discussion based on that.
Hello, my name is Constantin BURDUN. I'm Deputy CEO at CertSignr. CertSignr is a company that provides trust services in Romania and cybersecurity services. And I thank you very much for being invited to this panel because this aspect of the need of skills in cybersecurity is very important for all the organizations, in my opinion, and it's a good opportunity to debate this issue. Thank you.
Hello, my name is Ionuț, ISAC. I'm the Director for Cybersecurity at UI, one of the largest professional services companies in the world and the leader in cybersecurity. It's really a pleasure to be here and part of the panel, as I think the human and the workforce issue in cybersecurity, it's definitely here and it's very important. And I was myself personally involved in the past and right now in trying to address these issues by partnering with universities and other bodies in order to improve the workforce that we have available in the cyber area.
Thank you. Hello everyone, my name is Andreea, COCHECI, Head of Sales within Axigen. And we do work a lot of cybersecurity, hence the reason why we are here today. One of the main reasons at which we are definitely look at, and we also advise our customers from the perspective of the mail server cybersecurity protections, and we salute with a very heart welcoming this type of initiatives which actually have the main focus of educating the public and getting to promote our measurements of cybersecurity worldwide, not just on the Romanian level. So thank you for being here.
Let's see if this one works. Yes, thank you. Hello, everyone. My name is Bogdan IRIMIA. I'm part of Eviden. I guess the main thing that represents or welcomes me here on the stage is the fact that I was also an unskilled workforce not so long time ago. Right now I'm managing the penetration testing team inside Eviden, and also I'm teaching some pen testing courses at the West University in Timișoara.
Hello, dear ladies and gentlemen. My name is Adrian BREZULIANU. I am CEO of GreenSoft company, software development company from Iași, Romania. I'm also teaching in university, Faculty of Electronics and Telecommunication. And please allow me to make a joke, if it is possible. I'm feeling somehow like the end of the semester, very few students, but very special.
Indeed, very special students, but I want to keep the attention of our audience, so instead of one panel, let me frame our discussion into 3 different panels, if you don't mind. Maybe by starting with 10-minute discussion on the current challenges, which I would ask you about your opinion, the current challenges in basically filling in the skills gap in the industry. Then 10 minutes on short-term solutions, which means what you, your companies, other organizations across Romania and more than 30 different countries across the world are doing, 30 different because they're represented here in the audience. And then complete our panel with 10 minutes on the more strategic solutions. We have representatives of some of the Big Four, also of course, many representatives of the different institutions in the audience, so we can end up the discussion more strategically. If you don't mind, I believe this is a good approach to act. And maybe we can start with Adrian this time on particularly the challenges that we are currently facing. Simply because GreenSoft is working in so many industries, from IoT to basically standard application development in the software world. So I suppose you have a constant headache of filling in the right spots. But how do you see the trends these days?
Yes, you are right. We are fortunate because somehow we are on one foot in commercial area, managing this company, and with the other foot in the academic, teaching also in university. And from this point of view, let's say we have an easy life comparative with other company in terms of attracting new resources in the field that are necessary. Of course, the main topic is how we can expand this collaboration between commercial and academic and also with the government. And in order to be really effective and really attractive, because the moment we are going either to the students in the academic field or to our colleagues in the company, trying to tell them, hey, we need regularly on every 2-3 months to participate on a new training. It's important to be updated with what is happening. Let's try to get more certificates in this area. We have to find a way to be really attractive, because if our proposal is not really connected to the industry, if it is not really with use case reference, the attraction for this type of approach is not as well as we desire. And I would like to focus on 2 directions. One important direction is the technology, but the other important direction is human factor. And I would like to focus also on social engineering and how this component is influencing all the area of cybersecurity. And from this perspective of attracting new resources and new people in the area, how we can use this component to show them how important is this area and how they can take advantage of these skills.
Thank you. Maybe in the context you mentioned the growing cyber warfare, the social engineering aspect, so thank you for this input. And maybe we continue with Bogdan.
So I work in a very technical, highly specialized environment, and the skills that are being required for everyone to perform their job are very particular and very in-depth from a technical point of view. In order to solve kind of these challenges, we have some internal solutions that do work for the short term in our case, and the approach that we have goes like this. So at first, we're trying to look for people that already have IT knowledge, because you need to have a broader IT knowledge in order to understand the details and the specifics of the industry. And after that, we take them on a journey that has three main steps. One is the person willing to go along the path. And then there's a mentor that will hold the hand of the person that goes along the path. And then we have the curricula, the path itself that they need to follow. And all of this journey actually ends with a certification, a very practical approach that attests the qualifications and the knowledge that was acquired throughout this journey. And we found this approach to be very effective, and this is what we do in order to kind of address from inside our company the gaps that are there.
Thank you. Is it easier to find blue team talent or red team talent?
I'm only looking for red team mainly, but I guess for the blue team, it's easier to enter the field because you have like SOC level ones that do more or less an easier type of job, and you don't need too many particular technical skills in order to get into the door, get your foot into the door. For the red side of things, you need to have a bit more knowledge in order to be able to compete with the big guys.
Okay, great. And our Women for Cyber representative here today in the panel. Let's hear what your views are.
Actually, I would start by saying, not just from our perspective, from Axigen is a mail-related product, so we deal a lot with cyber threats and educating the end customer in the end. The end customer and the administrator that actually work with the end customers. But it's something that we can easily extend for everyone from the cybersec field, in the sense that educating actually the people that gets to work every day with this type of threats. And I would make a small parenthesis here, speaking about threats. If we come to think about the famous Nigerian prince that we all know about, the emails that we receive in our emails, the ransom process that we can all access by granting the money. So that's a type of threat that each and everyone learned during the years. So it's already a hoax, if you like, that has a history. And we've already learned to protect ourselves from the obvious thing. But we are no longer speaking about the obvious things. We are speaking about threats that might actually have a deeper impact, and they are well disguised in all sorts of menaces that are received in the system. And in the end, because I've started saying about these type of initiatives like DNSC that right now has created this type of event of educating the public. And this is what we strongly believe that gets to move things in the right direction with the baby steps, if you like, because it is a baby steps process that we all take in the systems, and dealing one time with one pace at a time with each and every threat that we are receiving. So if you like, and I will make again a small parenthesis here as a parallel, if we do have an open window or a doorknob that does not function correctly, we will be very vigilant in that direction, and we will make sure that no intruder will actually enter into our space. The same thing is applicable also for the cybersec space, so we need to create the same awareness and to support these types of initiatives, which in the end gets to educate not only the cybersec experts, which keep the pace and follow the trends, and we communicate one with each other, but also the end user. And that's an ongoing process. So for this ongoing process, basically, we need to all contribute to the same common educating type of values that we constantly support.
Thank you very much. Actually, basically, as a leader in securing email communication, you very well emphasized on the fact we need to work on expanding cognitive skills beyond purely technical cybersecurity skills in order to protect ourselves and our organizations. So thank you for that, because obviously we need to speak also of skills we need to develop beyond purely the technology needs of our organizations. And for this purpose, we apparently need to reach out into the broader audience and educate further beyond IT specialists,
exactly.
the broader
and creating
population.
a constant awareness that we all contribute for
Thank you. Thank you for broadening the scope of our panel. And now let's hear something from leaders in doing research, business research, technology research worldwide.
So in the case of UI, usually when our customers come to us, they expect quite a high level of knowledge in a very particular and niche areas. Of course, it's not easy to find those kind of profiles on the market and internally. We have a joke, I think it's well known, so sometimes the job description looks like our customers, they want an IT company, not just one guy. So we need to be really pragmatic and we need to invest in growing the capabilities of our workforce. We as UI, we have invested last year over $350 million in trainings, in upskilling, with a large chunk of that dedicated to cyber and technology. But as my predecessors previously mentioned, I don't think we should look at just the IT professionals. I think we should also discuss a bit about what we do with people which are our future employees. So under 18, under 20, they will become professionals, they will want to work in cyber, and even our parents or grandparents, so I'm talking here about maybe, I don't know, 60 plus, and I have actually one very relevant example to give you here. My mother, 6 months ago, she called me, she received an email from DNSC, DNSC, signed by Mr. Dan Câmpian himself, saying that she needs to send her ID card to a fake email address and then report herself to the nearest police station. When she called me, she was on the verge of clicking send and sending her personal details to who knows who. We invest hundreds of millions of dollars, not just us, but also states and corporations to protect themselves and so on. But sometimes we miss the fact that humans can be very easily attracted if they are not properly educated. So what good do we do that we invest hundreds of millions of dollars if such an attack, maybe it was successful, I don't know, and maybe it gathered 50,000 ID cards of Romanian nationals. So we need to broaden the scope of the cyber education, like you've mentioned before, and target also, let's say, I would call more vulnerable population. Because the IT guys, I'm quite sure if you work in IT, you would have never thought to send your email address and that the Romanian government will contact you on your Yahoo email address to ask you for something like that. But some people, they do not know that, and they fall into the trap.
Thank you very much also for the second joke for the panel. Simply because it's not really a joke, in Bulgaria, only 6 to 7% of companies, based on recent research, are reaching out to cybersecurity providers, and most of them rely exactly on 1 to 2 people. So the entire cybersecurity department is that guy and his skills, and if he doesn't have or she the skills needed, then that's all. Unfortunately, that's not really a joke across many small and medium enterprises, and there is a term on the previous discussion here in Bucharest that I took part, that was used, called cyber poverty, where you cannot invest. You know what skills you need, but you simply don't have the funds to invest further. So we can also try to address the crossing this gap, the cyber poverty gap that is currently opening. Now something interesting, and maybe we can continue, Constantin, with you also after your response with the second segment of our panel, simply because there are many exciting things happening in the field of digital identity with the new European Digital Identity Regulation 2.0, AI-DAS, I think that's the right naming. We'll share a bit more about that later, but let's hear from your point of view, from the fact that you're representing a leading provider in digital identity. Where do you see the skill gap in particular these days? How is this changing, and maybe how it will continue to change and advance in the future?
I think it is important to underline the fact that the request for skills in cybersecurity, the need is bigger and bigger each day as the companies and organizations become aware that they need this. Because I don't know, 5 years ago there were more companies than today that they didn't know that they need cybersecurity. So the pressure of finding resources in this, it's day and day more and more bigger. So for short term, I think that an organization should try to bring skills for cybersecurity, to plan this, having in mind that the time for bringing them in the organization will be bigger and bigger. And if they are aware from the start of this, they can have, how to say, some temporary measures in order to be still prepared in a case of cybersecurity attack. Because this is reality. The lack of resources exists, and we should face it no matter what. There are companies like ours, I think, that are where the things are a little bit easier, because we are a company with DNA security from the top. You know, in our company, the CEO has a PhD in security and also certification. All the key people are very skilled in this. So when you need to implement a strategy in order to implement new cybersecurity policies, we are aware where to focus and where to start and exactly what we need. These companies, there are many companies that do not know how to do this, and we can help them to make this happen. So I think that there are no magic solution for short-term solutions. It's obvious that we should keep close to universities, to the source of these skills, of course, to universities and even to high schools. Yes, high schools already are in the target of the companies in order to see the future cybersecurity skills. Also, very important is to understand a little bit the profile of the young people. They are different from young people 10 years ago, in my opinion. They are very autonomous, I think, and if they have good knowledge in a field, and we talk about cybersecurity now, they tend to have some kind of degree of autonomous, of independency. They create their own startups, and we, as a company, big companies, should know how to deal and how to cooperate and how to partnership with these startups.
And this is exactly my basically question for the second part of our panel with the actual solutions, short-term solutions, and maybe you can continue with an answer. What particular good practices, best practices based from your experience you can recommend, share with the audience so that they can maybe implement? I suppose your CEO would also need a degree in TikTok in order to communicate with the new generation of professionals, the teenagers. But if that's not the case, what can you share from the experience of a leader such as CertSignr in Romania?
One way is to combine the target, the objectives of an employer in cybersecurity, for example. It's very important to have challenges, not only a list of tasks, you know. And we combine the day-by-day routine with challenging in different projects, research projects mostly, not fundamental research, but in this area we have. And this is our strategy, to be involved in research projects together with partnerships, with partners from different domains, from universities, from other industry sectors, and in this way, the young people have this feeling of doing something that matters. And for example, we are involved in a big project at European level. It's called the Federated Advanced Cyber Physical Test Range. It's together with 20 partners, and it's very challenging for young graduated student to be part of this project that have this objective of creating some testing environments federated at European level, for example. Or, I don't know, to be involved in auditing periodically the PKI infrastructure of European Space Agency, for example. So, I think this, in our opinion, is a way to attract and to keep young resources.
Perfect example, cyber ranges. I can recommend reach out either to Constantin, reach out to researchers that are implementing cyber ranges for training of cybersecurity professionals, because they're very engaging aspect. And the fact that you're working to federate with other cyber ranges simply is something that should be encouraged. And EY, I know that you're also very active when it comes to supporting volunteers, supporting non-governmental organizations, working with them. I myself took part a few years ago in such an activity with ISAC that you were supporting as a company, which brought me to volunteer and share my technical skills in Brazil, where I found my wife. So it was very exciting to use this opportunity. But share a bit more, what other best practices do you have to support the young talent and attract, of course?
When it comes to young talent and to growing the cybersecurity skills of the people, I don't think there is a silver bullet which will match everything. I have another example. So 15 years ago, when I was myself young, I wanted to pursue a career in studies, my bachelor's degree in cybersecurity in Romania, and the options were close to none. And that led me to pursue, to do it somewhere else, in the UK, which were more advanced back then. I can see that we have definitely improved in the past years, and now the major university centers in Romania, they have either developed or they are in the process of developing cybersecurity degrees in order to attract people to the cybersecurity field and to make them more open to the idea of joining cyber. I think there is also a small perception gap that we need to adjust. Maybe it's the elephant in the room. I was discussing probably a year ago or so at an interview with somebody that I wanted to recruit as an internship for cybersecurity, and I asked him, why do you want to come? Why do you want to do cyber? And he said, because I want to make a lot of money. and yeah, maybe that makes sense. Maybe they will come with with the job, but that should not be the purpose. So incentivizing the people and making sure that they grow, it's one way of keeping them and attracting them. Making sure that they are exposed to complex challenges, complex projects. I see that also if you expose them to large brands, if they work for projects for large brands, they give them a sense of pride. Then we have the academies that we are investing in, hackathons and events like that. I think they are a magnet for people who want to join in, who are interested in cyber. And also, I think we need to create more programs in the area of partnering with universities and with governments, so creating public-private partnerships in order to have apprenticeships programs well-defined so that the people can learn hands-on cybersecurity. I see a lot of people coming that we want to hire, and they know 5 mathematical formulas for encryption because they have studied in the university. However, they have no idea how to implement a real-life PKI solution. So bringing some practical aspect, I think it will really help, and I think it will, at least myself, I come as a technical guy in my background, so I like to do things and to see them practically applied rather than just reading 200 pages about it. So I think that's a solution, but it's not a silver bullet. I think it's a mix of multiple factors.
Yeah, speaking about practical solutions, your company is involved in many hackathons across the world, so this is again something that every company represented in the room can actively be engaged, because it can also support entrepreneurship. So people feel engaged in creating internal projects or open innovation, sharing them with other participants from outside the industry. So thank you very much for this focus on practicality and showing what is being taught. Now, Andreea, I maybe unintentionally narrowed the question because I spoke about attracting young talent, and that's not the case. We are an aging society in Europe, and there is a saying that the uneducated of the future will not be those that do not have certain skills, but those that are not constantly reskilling and upskilling themselves. So we should not speak about only young talent, we should be speaking about constant development of our professionals. So is there something that you would like to share from your internal practices, good practices at Axigen? Because you already mentioned that many older people are also vulnerable to scams, and I suppose the need for development around tackling the constantly evolving scams, basically, that are addressing all of us is important. So something that you're doing for all the generations, not only for the young talent.
So very true, and us on the Axigen side, speaking about best practices, we work with emails. So this is our line of work. Every day what we sell is mailboxes to our mail servers, providers, service providers, and so on. And they deal at their turn with the end customers, with the end users. In the end, it is a process that involves everyone in the society. We have spoken, and as very well pointed out by Ionuț right now, about the new generation, the educational aspect from the university. But in the same time, what we have noticed is that we, for instance, are releasing constantly the knowledge base of educating the administrator of dealing with cyber threats, protecting your users, the email protection, anti-spam, antivirus, phishing attempts, and so on. But in the end, what you know is not just about the administrator and the expert on the cybersecurity threats. In the end, it is also about the end customer and the consumer that needs as well to benefit from the same education. And speaking about this education, it is something that it's constantly being done. You know, there was that saying about the Chinese drop. That was a form of torture. We are not speaking about torture, but we are speaking about constantly preaching the same best practices. And improve the best practices, speaking about the trends that we are noticing from the markets, the new threats that are appearing on the market. And basically, this continuous learning process for which each and every one we contribute to that, in the end, everything should contribute to the same common cause. You know, I've read something very interesting the other days, that it's not just the governmental or just the specialized companies' role in educating the persons that are the specialized persons from the industry. In the end, it is a matter of creating an awareness that involves each and every one of us, so that we can have a larger and wider grasp over what is going on. And speaking about the persons that are more aged, or the persons that are younger, or the specialized ones, we are not resuming just to those ones. It's a cyber threat, cyber attack, conscious awareness that we need each and every one to develop on our own. And similar with these initiatives that we spoke, and this is the reason why we are all here for the last 2 days and continuing tomorrow as well, we are contributing, each and every one, to the same guideline, if you like. And I realized that releasing small trainings, accessible and easy to understand for the public as well, is part of our role as experts from the industry, so that promoting and evangelizing, in the end, the best practices is what keeps the flow going, if you like.
Thank you very much. Basically, what you said is focus on awareness raising, and awareness raising is basically selling cybersecurity to society. As a head of sales, I would like you to organize such a small micro training on how to sell cybersecurity to society. This would be good for business, would be good for society, of course. So maybe next time we can do something like this together.
As a small parenthesis here, you know that DNSC has actually small trainings that they are delivering on their website, and that's a fabulous initiative that we can all contribute to. Small pills, if you like, very 5-minute-ish or best practices documents that we can all release into the market. Educating the public, it's something that we can all contribute to.
Thank you for this example. Bogdan, of course, you're invited to answer the question, but something that's very curious to me. Are you able to leverage different type of, let's say, bounty programs to attract penetration testers? So because we spoke about making things like more sexy, more attractive because they're practical, do you see something like this, that the company organizes a bounty program to help them fix a certain vulnerability, or first find, discover, and then someone that joined such a program can maybe become part of the internal workforce of the company? Is this something that would work if we encourage such an activity? And of course, any other pills that you can recommend to all of us?
Yes, thank you very much for this. So first of all, there's a bit of a, let's say, legal contradiction here in the way that things actually work with the bug bounty programs. So even our company has a bug bounty program outside, and it's available for bug bounty hunters to participate in. However, all of the employees of the company are not eligible for this kind of bug bounty program, because what we want to see from the bug bounty hunters is, without any knowledge, zero absolute knowledge about the environment and everything that goes inside the company, what is the worst case and what is the worst thing that can happen to us. So from this point of view, at least at this point in time, this is how they work together. We try to keep them separated as much as possible. So I'm not sure if there will be a shift in this regard. However, there are other types of activities that we do encourage, and we do make available for everyone to participate in. And from these ones, we can attract talent and people which are skilled and talented. And I'm referring here mainly to CTF challenges. So this is something that everyone can participate in. I think there are plenty of this kind of scenarios that are happening in a university setup, or even high school students can participate in. And with the people that do very well in this kind of engagements, we try to keep a close tap on them to see if they might be interested in doing security work in their professional work after they finish school. And on the practicality of things, I mentioned that I'm also involved in teaching pen testing at the university in Timișoara, and I also do like to bring this practical side of things into the course as well. So as much as possible, and even for the final exam, I try to design it in such a way that will look like a CTF. So I'm not interested in the students to say what an XSS or any type of vulnerability is from a theoretical point of view. I'm more interested in seeing how you can exploit it in order to actually take advantage of that vulnerability and do something with it, not just the theory, the practical side of things. And this is also more engaging for them, right? Because they don't need to like spit out whatever they learned. They need to just put it in practice. And most people are very good at that.
Thank you very much for mentioning Capture the Flag campaigns, which reminded me of a very interesting roundtable yesterday as part of this conference. It was about critical vulnerability disclosure, and maybe if ethical hackers that are, or basically cybersecurity researchers, independent ones, self-educated, self-taught, certified or not, can help fill in the skills gap. I'm curious what Adrian would have to say about it. Does he believe that potentially if we open up the industry for more involvement from ethical hackers, we can more or less close the gap a bit, simply because more people would be able to basically report vulnerabilities, potentially help close these vulnerabilities and avoid them being exploited. Is this something that makes sense according to you, and anything else you would like to bring to the table?
Okay, thank you for the question. I would like to link your question to the two topics, one triggered by you earlier related to the small companies that understand the situation and the need for cybersecurity, but they don't afford to have they don't afford to hire the proper experts. And from this perspective, some government initiatives that could provide some SAS services, including ethical hackers, could help them at least to protect at the basic level, because elsewhere these small companies are really sitting ducks in front of the very good attackers. And from this perspective, I fully agree with you that this could be a door that has to be open, and this way we can move to another topic related to continuous awareness. How we can educate, how we can teach, starting with our own colleagues, starting with our own employees, to be aware, do not become the next victim. And I would like here to point it out to an old book that I really like it, written by Kevin Mitnick, 20-something years ago, called it The Art of Deception. Mitnick somehow is called the father of social engineering. And I would like to mention one example from that book that we discuss often with my colleagues related to impersonate attacks. How vulnerable, or which is one of the most vulnerable person in a company. And the author saying, okay, secretary is 31 years old, divorced, single mother. After 2 or 3 discussions with an expert hacker, she will be able to disclose sensitive information about colleagues, about CEO, about different other doors that are potential open to the real hackers. And from this perspective, we really believe that presenting real situation, such as an example that was happened 3-4 years ago with one of the most important social media player that was a victim of a spear phishing attack, and some accounts of the most important and visible person like Musk, Obama was hacked, and on behalf of their name was presented different scams on Bitcoin, and a lot of victims were related to this type of attack. Of course, continuous awareness, and including what you said related to ethical hackers, could be a step forward in protecting us continuously. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. I cannot be more grateful for your response, simply because when you mentioned again social engineers, this is an opportunity to engage more women into the industry, simply because DEF CON and their annual competition about social engineering shows that in most of the cases women are the most successful engineers, because they are also apparently very good in exploiting certain emotional moments, emotional aspects.
Becoming empathic is one of the paths that are used by the social engineering expert to get what they really would like to achieve. And it's very good to present such type of example to understand how easy we can become the next victim.
And thank you very much also for reminding us how much time is left. I think there are 7 minutes, not 5. But let's go to the final round, which is basically also an opportunity for also closing statements, which is the strategic round. Where do you see the industry going in 5 to 10 to 15, 20 years? Let's be a bit futuristic. And based on this, where do you see the skills gap shifting, and what are the strategic solutions? I'm just broadening a bit the question also by mentioning potential ideas for governmental policies, new programs, new methods of learning, simply because you know that to implement the policy you need 5 years, and then you need 5 more to see if it's working. So any of these in that regard, and you can also consider them as certain closing statements, certain things you want to emphasize in front of the audience. We can start with you, Adrian.
To be very short, because we have only 5 minutes, in 5 years, 10 years, I'm seeing a combination between social engineering and EI. And I believe that our upskills has to be in this direction to understand how to use it to protect us.
Thank you very much.
Yes, AI will definitely rule both the blue team, the red team, and the ones in between. So a major skill gap will be into how to use AI, how to implement it properly in defending, in proactively defending, running simulations, attacks on everything. And I guess the closing thought would be, don't forget that cybersecurity is a team sport, so don't need to run by yourselves, need to involve the people around you as well.
Team skills, great addition, thank you.
As a closing remark, I would actually like to leave this in the room. According to 2023 stats, right now at the European level, we have 9.8 million people working in the IT industry. This has come with a 20% increase comparing with 2022. So we expect the same thing to have even a higher pace of growing in the following years. And as you all know, right now everyone has an IE integration. So this IE integration is made by people. And as well as we are teaching the AI right now, we are also teaching the people to grow further, to create the same awareness, and to build together, as you very well put it, because it is a team working model that we all grow and promote in the end. Thank you.
Thank you, Andrea. And just to remind the audience to prepare the questions, we need to address, of course, them very soon after. Ionuț and, of course, Constantin address the future.
I agree with my predecessors. I really think AI is here and it will continue to be here. And I think we need to be ready for that. So I really think that despite the fact that there is a huge cybersecurity workforce gap, millions, hundreds of thousands, depends on the report, there will be even more, because I think that cybersecurity experts will need to be given at least a foundational understanding of AI concepts, AI attack techniques. They would need to know how to configure, implement, fine-tune different AI products that are already on the market, but we also need to consider to make them aware of the potential governance and ethical aspects of the AI. On top of that, we need to be aware, not they, I think everybody needs to be aware of how AI can impact not just the cybersecurity state of large organizations or governments, but even all of us. So you can create really strong deepfakes with AI, for example, and you can convince your mother to wire you 5,000 euros with a deepfake. So both the cybersecurity workforce and also the general population needs to be made aware of the AI, and we need to do it quite fast, I think. I think we're a little bit behind.
Thank you very much. Constantin?
I will go a little bit at the lower level, and I'm thinking of digital skills. So digital skills are important for everybody, and what is now is a changing, is a new level added. So we should be prepared and to have digital skills based on AI, and this is quite a challenge, because it seems something similar how to learn to use a phone or a smartphone or a computer 20 years ago. Now all we will be forced or should learn how to use AI, and if we do this, of course, it will be easier also for the cybersecurity services to be easier integrated. For security aspects, I think that a strategy is not enough, is to be written on a document. You should have action plans very clear, and to monitor and to control them. And I appreciate the initiatives at the European level because there are already components that fit together in order to have these approaches, and I'm thinking about NIS2 Directive, Cyber Resilience Act, ADAS 2.0, and AI approach, regulation, and so on.
Yes, the Cybersecurity Skills Academy is a great initiative of the European Commission. The dear esteemed audience members raising hands over there, and two final questions over here. I'm sorry, I just identified them before you, sorry. Maybe we can gather them, the three questions, and if I did not see someone from there, please accept my apologies.
I'll try to be brief. Thank you for giving me the chance to ask a question for your insights, but before my question, just a quick insight, because I'm David, and I'm an expert in AI and the future of work, and I spent the last 10 years on actually reskilling people for tech jobs, not just cyber, but tech in general. And what I've learned, it was not mentioned here, and I wanted to just add, reskilling is the key, but you have to do three things to make it actually work within an organization. First, you need to incentivize people, because learning is not maybe necessarily something that comes natural to everybody. So unless you connect your reskilling program with maybe a promotion path or some sort of a incentive, people will not be so keen to do it. Second, to give them time. We often offer reskilling resources, but we don't allow the employee to actually take an hour every Friday maybe to do that training, and we expect them to do it maybe after hours. And last but not least, support, especially when we talked about AI and what it will do to cybersecurity and other industries. People will need mentorship and support to know how to transition what they learn into their day-to-day jobs. And actually, this is my question. How will AI disrupt the cybersecurity role in itself? And do you foresee a future, which might be quite near, in which the people, the talent you're looking for in your organizations will need to learn both the basic cyber skills, but also AI skills to leverage their full potential?
And
thank you.
If we can just hear the other two questions so that we will shortly respond with one person per question according to where you see yourself that you fit, please.
So my question actually builds on his, if I could take it first. It's to do with, okay, we need basic cyber skills for somebody
somebody to be entry level. We do need AI knowledge, but where is the psychological element in all of this? I'm specifically referring to core security here, not entry level, which is what everybody's here has covered, but somebody like a security architect with 15 years experience has to sell his craft, not just know it. How do we bring that to the table? Because nobody's talking about this.
And the gentleman with my hairstyle?
Well, it's in a way also sort of a follow-up, because I think it's a critical question. Is cybersecurity about protecting systems or the services that systems provide? And this is critical, for example, when it comes to the critical infrastructures in society. And if we accept that it's about protecting the services, then we also need to take into account the experts that know these services inside out and the cyber dependencies of these services. So the question concerning education is, how can we bring through education these two groups together so that we don't have, you could say, experts with solutions in search for questions, but actually those who know the needs and combine those with those who have the answers. And a quick comment concerning the ethical hackers. In Iceland, we have an experimental EU-supported project, Defend Iceland, which is like Hack the Pentagon. And it seems to have been able to get a lot of the ethical hackers into a framework where actually the whole of society is under. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. We have incentivization, we have the psychology element, we have cybersecurity, but in the critical infrastructure. And thank you for the great example from Iceland. Please just decide what would you like to address, because we already are past the time.
If I may start with the first AI question. So I don't think the workforce of tomorrow will need to have the basic AI concepts. I think the workforce of now, or the workforce of a few months ago, to be honest. So we are investing heavily, and I think all the industry should align and do the same in training our workforce into basic AI concept, basic, medium, and advanced. And I think we should not refer only to cyber people, so not just the cyber people in UI are incentivized to get AI trainings, but everybody in the organization. And for that we have events, they have some clear career paths that they can follow if they do certain badges, we call them badges, up to the level of getting the chance to have a fully paid MBA degree in technology if you reach a certain level and if you dedicate to the topic. So there are already some paths designed and thought of, and I don't think we are the only ones in the industry. I think it applies. I've seen it in multiple places, but it's a very good reason to convince people. Yes.
I would say that regarding what should protect cybersecurity indeed should protect services and should protect businesses, and finally should protect people. And this is very interesting that many organizations realize this only when an attack appears. And when an attack happens, at that moment, we'll see the CEO be present and being interested what happened. And this is sad, of course, because CEO and the board of directors should be involved all this period and to be very well concerned how to be prepared not to happen this. And not the cybersecurity is not for protecting IT systems for IT systems' sake. Yeah.
And if I may address the psychological question about the AI, speaking about raising awareness and education, I believe AI is going to be built in most of the things, in most of the systems that will surround us. So in the end, as I was saying, we are not just educating the experts, we are also educating the wide public, larger public, to be comfortable and to adopt the AI, not as a threat, not as a psychological effect of replacing the human factor, but rather to add an added value on the human factor, and that they can work together so that they can build a better end result and product, if you like. So I believe that AI integration is already part of our working flows, and that's going to be even a higher level of integration in the future. So basically, speaking about the educating system, it's only a matter of educating and raising awareness as well in the industry and for the rest of the experts, and not just the experts, for creating this bridge of being more familiar into working with AI so that we can actually have better results working all together, if it makes sense.
Thank you. I see.
Something very short. I believe that we have to be aware and to be ready to accept that the AI will be our next colleague in the next 5-10 years. And this is a game changer. And we have to be ready to adapt to this new mindset.
And definitely quantum as well, because Bogdan, I know that your company is very much invested in this area.
One last thing, cybersecurity in its tradition is usually thought of reactive kind of solution or measure, building walls, raising fences. Now is the first, or it's a very good opportunity to be proactive about everything when it comes to AI education, surrounding it. So very good opportunity to start with the right foot forward.
On behalf of the entire panel, ladies and gentlemen, for us it was a pleasure to speak in front of you. I hope it would have been of help and have sparked some ideas. A warm round of applause for our esteemed panelists. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much. It was definitely educational, and we have learned a lot from this panel. So thank you, all of you.